Thanks for being here on this Wednesday. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood on the 12th day of April. We're watching the rest of your work week with more beautiful weather in store and looking closer at your Easter weekend. And right now, sad to say that showers and storms may have backed up a little bit time-wise on Easter Sunday. I'll give you the timeline in just a few moments. We'll go over what appears to be one of, if not the largest meth seizures in Magoffin County, at least that I have covered, in regards to a traffic stop that I first reported to you last night with some limited details. We've got the full story tonight, as well as full coverage, almost full coverage, of last night's Magoffin County Hornet Johnson Central matchup. This was an exciting baseball game to watch. They've had some great ball games, still pretty early in the season, but man, they've had some great ones, and two of them were this week for the boys here at home, and I'll take you to last night's in just a few moments, and they're going to go back at it again tonight on the Central field, set for 6 o'clock this evening. We'll talk baseball in a second. We'll also talk about a DUI wreck that happened this morning and the Mountain Parkway. There are some scheduled stoppages set for early next week. I'll tell you when and where so you can make plans of travel accordingly, and more information to cover in what's left of the half hour. Sadly, tonight we start off with a fatality that resulted from a structure fire in Lawrence County. A mobile home was completely engulfed in flames upon the arrival of at least 2, if not 3 fire departments around 6 o'clock this morning on Yellow Creek Road. That's near the Lawrence and Martin County line. We know that they were able to confirm after extinguishing the blaze that one person did die as a result of that fire. That name has still yet to be released at this time, and the investigation into the blaze is still ongoing. Two things I need to make note of that are upcoming here in Magoffin County. Tomorrow night's the big night for the Magoffin Talent Expo. I covered it, I guess that was last week, if I'm not mistaken. And then the students from the high school have put together a piece, a commercial that I've been airing since. And this will be your last reminder, as it is indeed tomorrow evening. They have pre-show activities starting at the high school at 6:15, and the big performance starts at 7 o'clock. And this covers everything that's talent related, from the cheerleaders to gifted and talented students, presentations, dance, choirs, art showcases, published books, signings and readings by students, 4-H youth programs, criminal justice students, school tours. The nursing program is going to have blood pressure checks, and the list indeed goes on. A lot of projects to be displayed and a lot of information, all showcasing the talent of our students at the Magoffin County Talent Expo. The Magoffin County Community Foundation and Magoffin County Schools cordially invite you to come tomorrow just for $1 or $2, a nominal amount to get in. All of that, of course, being matched by the Magoffin County Community Foundation and going back to our students. We'll get you in. They'll have concessions and a whole lot to see. We hope that you'll certainly join them tomorrow night at the high school, beginning at 6:15 for the pre-show and then 7 o'clock for the performances, and there are going to be a host of them tomorrow. And just a quick reminder, the Magoffin County Rescue Squad gets underway in just a few weeks, and donations are still greatly needed and appreciated, so expect to see someone from the Rescue Squad knocking on your door or your business in the coming days. And if not, if you would like to make a donation, please support the Rescue Squad any way you can. An absolutely 100% all-profit, non-volunteer organization, which, as I say, I think every year at this time operates literally on a shoestring budget, and this auction is their sole largest fundraiser, not their sole fundraiser, but indeed their largest of the year, and it's really, their services are dependent on it being another success for the 38th time or so, if you will, so keep that in mind. Now for the arrest, an update on what appears to be the biggest crystal meth seizure in Magoffin County that I have ever covered, at least that I can certainly recall, and I've gone back through some records. This after a traffic stop on Parkway Drive for expired tags yesterday afternoon by the Magoffin County Sheriff's Department, a traffic stop that led to a still ongoing investigation. Deputy Neil Adams made the traffic stop yesterday. He and Sheriff Carson Montgomery were on scene when I arrived just moments later. And as I told you yesterday, they were still conducting an investigation, still conducting a search of the vehicle that was involved. There were 3 occupants inside, and when I was on scene yesterday, one, that being the driver, was already in custody and placed in the back of a patrol car, while the other 2 were cuffed and detained outside while they conducted the search. A very lucrative search for the Sheriff's Department, as it has turned out to be the largest meth seizure that I've ever covered, and so far the largest that we can find record of in Magoffin County. And not just your average methamphetamine that's being made locally, if you will, in these one-step bottles that we so commonly see making headlines and see destroying lives, but actual rock crystal meth that's probably coming from out of the country.
We got possibly 47.8 grams of crystal meth. That's not local stuff. That's the real stuff been shipped in here from somewhere. We got 2 to 3 grams of cocaine. We got some Percocet and scales, some other items. It's at least the biggest amount I've seen since I've been sheriff.
That's over 47 grams of high-grade crystal meth that has been taken off the streets, all believed destined to Magoffin County.
It was obvious they came to this county to sell those drugs, but with the scales, all the small baggies, and they had a lot of small bills of money possibly to make change with, and I'm certain they came here to sell it.
The sheriff says the cocaine was found under the leg of the passenger in the front seat, that being a man identified as Shannon Price, and that he also had a bag attached to his belt that had a vial of some of the crystal meth as well as a quantity of pills on his person as well. And there was another bag in the vehicle down in between the seats that contained the majority of the other drugs. There was also a host of paraphernalia, as you can see in the vehicle, needles, and much, much more. All 3 individuals, upon being questioned, gave authorities different stories, with the female in the back seat actually being the owner of the vehicle, who claimed to be operating some sort of an Uber-like transportation service, was why they were in the vehicle, even though she was not driving. The driver, however, was identified as a Carlos Dobson, who was driving on a suspended license. So far, Dobson with a Hazard address, Shannon Price with a Paintsville address, and Candy Price with a Nip address have all been charged with trafficking in a controlled substance in the first degree for unspecified drugs, also for trafficking in the first degree for methamphetamine, and trafficking in the first for cocaine, as well as a count of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of drugs in their improper container. Dobson was also charged with no registration and driving on a suspended license, and Price was also charged with carrying a concealed deadly weapon for having a handgun on his person, and all remain lodged still in the Big Sandy jail on a $10,000 cash bond each. Around 8 in the a.m. this morning, rescue and law enforcement were called to a single car crash on Littoral in Magoffin County, where a car had left the roadway and struck a tree. The female reported to still be inside at the time of the 911 call. The first call came in to 911 that a vehicle had went off the roadway and was in the creek, and the second call indicated that there was still a female driver inside. Upon arrival of law enforcement and EMS personnel, and myself actually kind of in the middle of both, Magoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Jonathan Holbrook found the driver already out of the vehicle. She told him that she had fallen asleep, but Holbrook noticed that she exhibited signs of being under the influence, and she failed several field sobriety tests on scene. And en route to the jail, Holbrook confirmed that she had admitted to taking pills in the last 24 hours, he said. She was charged, that being 38-year-old Katrina Payne of Sagersville, with driving under the influence and failure to produce an insurance card. No other occupants were in the vehicle. Fortunately, no other vehicles were involved, and the case remains under investigation by Deputy Holbrook. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. But you can't miss the construction ongoing in the various phases, or different projects, if you will, of the Mountain Parkway expansion project. And I've been alerted to some utility work that's going to cause some temporary delays on the Mountain Parkway early next week. So you'll want to try to plan ahead if you're planning on traveling the Parkway on Tuesday. Speed limits are already reduced in this construction area, this part of the Mountain Parkway expansion project. And next Tuesday, the 18th, there are going to be some stoppages, some semi-scheduled stoppages on the Mountain Parkway. So motorists should be prepared for those brief times of having to come to a stop in the Mountain Parkway just east of the Kentucky 205 Halichiwa interchange. Now, this is Tuesday of next week, as crews are going to relocate telephone lines ahead of the roadway construction. Right now, they expect to stop traffic a total of 4 times, if all goes well, between 9 in the morning and 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, in an effort to pull cables across the parkway. Now, most of those stoppages are expected to last maybe 5 to 20 minutes, but could last upwards of 30 minutes if need be. Marshall Carrier, the project manager, says that if you have to travel this section of the parkway on Tuesday, you should allow some extra time to reach your destination or take an alternate route. The utility relocation is part of the Morgan County segment of the Mountain Parkway expansion project, which covers 8.2 miles in Wolf, Morgan, and Magoffin counties. The improvements include widening the parkway to 4 lanes between mile points 56 and 65, improving and modernizing the Lee City West Liberty interchange, that's exit 57, improving the Kentucky 134 interchange, that's exit 60, and reconstructing and eliminating an S-curve, that S-curve that we all know so well, near the Morgan-Magoffin County line. I mean, getting rid of just that one portion of the Mountain Parkway, in my opinion, is worth the entire project, but it's certainly going to make for much safer travel when it is all done. And it's still a few years away, but nevertheless, it's going considerably well, in my personal opinion, as to the speed, as to how quickly the work is progressing. Nevertheless, on tonight's Magoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar. Kindergarten registration is ongoing this week and next at South Magoffin Elementary. If your child is going to be 5 years of age on or before the 1st, they're eligible to register, and you can call 884-7325. Keep in mind, North Magoffin's kindergarten registration runs all of next week from 8 till 3, and you can call that school if you need some more information at 349-2847. A few quick reminders on the calendar tonight. Don't forget the open door is open Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 to 1, Wednesdays and Fridays 10 to 5, and Saturdays 10 to 4 at the St. Luke Catholic Church. And in addition to all the very low-priced clothing and other items they've had for so long, coming soon, within days, they'll have slightly refurbished or reworked appliances, tools, and more. And ongoing right now, it's Holy Week Revival at the Prater United Methodist Church, 7 p.m. nightly, with special guests and pastors nightly as well. They hope you'll join them. It began this week, actually on Sunday, and continues through Friday night. And don't forget that evening services start tonight at the Stinson United Baptist Church at 7. That's Wednesday through Saturday. Their Easter sunrise service is Sunday morning at 7, breakfast afterwards. And then, of course, their regular service 11 o'clock Sunday morning on Easter with special guests. They hope you'll join them as well. And another reminder, the Sayersville High School all-class reunion has been set for May the 27th for a full afternoon and evening of fun for anyone who went to the Sayersville High School at any time for any time. Those are the numbers you can call for some classmates if you have any questions. And always call me first when you've got a calendar announcement or birthday or anniversary that you'd like to share. Or mail, email, Facebook, phone, fax, however you want to get it to me, just get it to me. Funeral service announcements, as always, provided by our friends at the Magoffin County Funeral Home, with a reminder of those to be held tomorrow morning at 11 for Mary Janice Whitaker Barker Bailey, 92 of Michigan, but formerly of Magoffin County, preceded in death by her husbands Forrest Barker and Ramey Bailey, survived by sons Clifton, Kenny, Bobby, and Calvin Barker. Visitation is tonight, and up until services, they start tomorrow morning at 11 at the Sayersville Funeral Home. And 38-year-old Joey Reed of Lena Patrick Road in Sayersville passed away this week, the son of the late Randy and Sherry Lynn Patrick Reed. He's survived by grandfather Haskell Patrick and brothers Jeremy, Jamie, and Jesse. Visitation is tonight and prior to tomorrow's services, set for 1 from the Sayersville Funeral Home. Charles Walters passed away at the age of 86 from Lexington, but formerly of Sayersville. He was married to Myra Keeger Walters, who preceded him in death. He's survived by a son, Kevin Charles Walters, and a daughter, Kimberly Walters. Visitation is going to be after 11 o'clock this Friday, with services to begin that afternoon at 1 from the Sayersville Funeral Home. And Harold Clyde Williams, 65 of Magoffin, passed away this week, the son of the late Fred and Maudie Blanton Williams. He's survived by his brothers, Johnny and Scotty Williams, and his sister, Edith Wright. Also a special friend, Malia. Visitation will be at 11 o'clock Saturday, and services will start at 1 o'clock the same afternoon, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And lastly, this evening, a full list of arrangements and services that have been set in honor of 77-year-old Kermit Arnold Howes of Donson Branch. He passed away on yesterday's date, survived by his wife Sally Hale Howes, as well as sons Kermit Wayne and William Henry. Visitation will begin after 6 o'clock this Thursday, that's tomorrow, and services will start Friday morning at 11 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Well, it was a thriller down to the end. 7 runs and 3 errors, though, in 1 inning meant a comeback and a district win last night as the Hornets hosted Johnson Central. Central coming into last night's game at 8-5, McGoffin County at 5-1 on the season. We'll pick it up at the top of the third. 2-2 is the score. There are 2 outs, and on an 0-1 with Jaron Lovely on the mound, Eagle Braxton Kelly knocks one out to right. It's just fair. And Trevor May scores from first off of Kelly's triple. Before Lovely shuts it down in the third, striking out Michael Robbins, leaving Kelly at third with a 3-2 Central lead. In the fourth, Jacob Patton and the Eagles keep the Hornets at 2 runs, shutting them down. And in the bottom of the fourth, Jordan Blanton makes the most of a dropped third strike and makes it to first base. Cody Rice finds right field, pushing Blanton to third with Rice going to second. And Blanton comes home on this single with the hitter out at first. It's 4-2 Johnson Central and no outs for the Eagles. And with another run off of Blake DeLong's double, Central goes ahead 5-2 before the end of the fifth. And when the Hornets open up the bottom of the fifth with 2 up and 2 out, things start to look a little grim for the Hornets. But Lovely holds up at second off a big shot to right. And Jaden Sowards is safe off a dropped ball at first, and Lovely safe at home. Sowards gets an extra base after the ball gets hung in the net.
Oh, you're out. Nope.
And Ethan Collins steps up to the plate and knocks one up the third base line and outruns the throw. And it's a 5-4 game. The Hornets are down 1 and still have 2 outs against them. And Mason Lovely steps in at first for Collins, and Zach Salyer steps up to the plate and pops this one back to center. Lovely rounds third and slides safe at home with Salyer standing up on a double and McGoffin County tying it up at 5. The Hornets still alive. Kyle Howard takes the walk, and Chase Hall loads him up with a low one up the middle. And another crack off of Jackson Salyer's bat sends Zach Salyer home, and the bases are still full, still on 2 outs. And a perfect read by Ryan Mullins as he drops one in where they're not, and Chase Hall kicks up some dust at home plate, and it's 8-5 McGoffin County. And with runners on first and third, Austin Collins on an 0-1 pitch up center with a little bobble by Central puts Salyer in the dugout with McGoffin County's 9th run of the night before Central can finally put an end to the inning. So it's on to the top of the 6th, and the Hornets have 2 outs on Central, but Central's got the bases loaded. Sound familiar? Can they make a run like McGoffin County did in the 5th? Austin Davis gives it a shot, but the runner gets cut off at second as the Hornets close the 6th as they would the night. An all-important district game with a 9-5 win over Central. And for anyone wanting to see how close that play at second was, because I got to be honest, in real time, I wasn't so sure. But here in slow-mo and close up, Kirkland Wireman's foot looks to me like it's still on the bag for an instant before he makes the throw. Got to call that one a good call. One that sends the Hornets to Central tonight for a rematch in another all-important district game. Ryan Mullins finished the game as Jaron Lovely threw the maximum 120 pitches allowed last night, and the Hornets are rolling with 5 wins in a row and only 1 loss on a 6-1 start, with last night's win on the heels of Monday night's victory over a top-ranked 14th region Perry Central.
Well, last night against Perry County Central, we were down 2-0 going into the bottom of the 6th inning. And we happened to score 3 runs in the bottom of the 6th, and Zach Sager struck out the side in the 7th to win the ball game last night against number 24 in the state, Perry County Central, which was a great win for our program.
And Max McFarland started off on the mound against Perry Central, hurling 76 pitches towards that win. And last night's win over Central is one of 3 over top 5 15th region teams.
Basically what happened, we started putting the ball in play and forcing them to make plays, and quite frankly we had a couple hits, but then they failed to make some plays that they probably should have made, and we took advantage of it tonight.
What are you going to take with you to Johnson County tomorrow night?
Well, I'll tell you what, our kids are excited. We got to kind of have a short memory and be ready to play again tomorrow, but we're going to enjoy this for right now.
And there's a rematch tonight. That's right. They're taking the show on the road to Central, where they are hosting the Hornets. We'll see how that one comes. I won't see it personally. I'll be venturing back up to the Magoffin County High School Athletic Complex, where the Lady Hornets tonight are hosting, and I have to double check to make sure. They are hosting Betsy Lane tonight. They actually already are. First pitch set for 6 o'clock. That comes after a big win on the road last night at Sheldon Clark, a much-needed win for the girls, 8-7 over the Lady Cardinals, and we're looking forward to hopefully 2 in a row tonight. We'll show you how that one comes out on tomorrow's program. Right now, let me show you what's happening as we make a run towards the end of the work week. We're on the downhill side now and looking ahead to your Easter weekend. Yeah, you'd be hard-pressed to find any complaints about the weather here lately. We've had our share of things to complain about weather-wise for, well, much of the season and season before that. Nevertheless, a low of 41 tonight. I'm still holding on to 81 degrees here at the end of the early show. Clear skies tonight, a north wind 5 miles per hour or so, becoming calm. We will hit right around 81, I think, for your Thursday. Sunny, mostly clear. Another gorgeous day in the neighborhood. No complaints there. Check out Friday as well. Your Good Friday forecast is just that. 81 and 58, a little warmer during the overnight. Mostly sunny and only partly cloudy skies for the end of the work week and the end of your Good Friday. Near picture perfect, and maybe indeed a picture perfect forecast in and of itself. As for the weekend, well, here's how it's going to start. I do believe we're calling for a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms on your Saturday. That's very slight, and that's pretty early, too. Partly sunny skies, temperatures still climbing right at 80 degrees. I think we might get by with a dry one. I'm hoping and fingers crossed for that one. Easter Sunday, though, things have changed. In fact, the window is kind of bumped up a little bit, and I'm not real excited about that. Still going to see some warm air, upper 70s, no doubt, but a chance of showers and thunderstorms, and then showers likely after 2 o'clock. And that window was closer to 5 yesterday, if you might recall. So making plans for Easter indoors Sunday, or having a good backup plan, or bumping it up to Saturday. It's something just to think about. Not going to be a washout, I don't think, but you'll have to deal with some showers at some point on Sunday. And Monday, and just in case you're wondering, that front that gives us some showers will give us some cooler air, just a bit. 71 Monday, a 30% chance of showers. I don't even have it on the board, lingering, say, up until 8 o'clock or so. But otherwise, mostly sunny and 71 Monday. And we'll see the 70s, low 70s, throughout at least the first half of next week. That's going to wrap it up. Literally, I'm already sitting on probably a couple of days' worth of news, and I have probably a week's worth of news to try to gather before the week's end. So be sure and join us next time for more of your news today. Thank you for watching.